It is day 26, the morning of, heading south and east into Ohio today from Ann Arbor, Michigan. I have a reservation for a campground down in Ohio, a little less than 200 miles to run, so it's not a terribly long distance, but I've chosen to stay off the interstate, so it is going to take a little bit of time to get there. Had a 0 day yesterday, using parlance from the hikers, so I didn't get on my motorcycle and ride anywhere yesterday, which is the first time since this trip began where that is true. It's good to get back on the bike. Only got a few days left of this trip if things go according to plan. It's a Thursday. I might be home as early as Saturday evening. I think today's going to be dry, but tomorrow I think it's going to be wet. That was pretty cool. The museum here had a depiction of the battleground where the Americans got hammered by the British back in the War of 1812. This was before Perry did his naval exercise in Lake Erie and beat back the British. So this was a pretty bad defeat for the Americans at the time. Kentuckians came up from the Kentucky Territory and did their best, but they were basically outmanned and outgunned. But a really nice visitor center and a great ranger that showed me around and let me watch a film on the battle. Time to say goodbye to Michigan yet again, state where I was born. Going now down into Ohio. Ohio says, find it here. Toledo and its river, and there's the ship that I took or went aboard, historic ship last fall. And I took a picture of this bridge from that ship. Two more days, Friday and Saturday, I'll close out a full 4 weeks of traveling on motorcycle. We're south of Lake Erie, or kind of paralleling it as we head east. Lake Erie, one of the 5 Great Lakes, is to my left. I think we're going to cross over Lake Erie, or a portion of it here, in just a minute. This is Sandusky Bay, which is a bay off of Lake Erie, crossing the Thomas A. Edison Memorial Bridge. I am on Cleveland Road, headed east, which runs more or less along the lake shore. This is the town of Vermillion, Ohio. I'm on Route 6, historic Route 6, headed east. I've been in Vermillion by boat, sailboat, many years ago. Had a nice little harbor, as I recall. Pretty little harbor. A lot of boats still have been put in. Bascule Bridge. I just entered the city of Cleveland. Still on Route 6, headed east. Out away from Cleveland, finally. Punderson State Park. It didn't show in the website that you have to climb stairs to get to your campsite, so I have to do a couple trips back and forth to bring my gear up. It's the 27th day of my trip, and it rained all night. Took the best of a bad camping spot for my tent. Still got a little bit of water underneath the tent just because the ground is so saturated, even though it's sitting on a footprint. So I'm gonna have to ride today in the rain, and I think tomorrow in the rain as well. Not sure what I'm gonna do for camping tonight. My gear is all dry inside the tent. The tent is fairly wet, so I'll have to pack it away wet, but that's the way it is. Trying to figure out whether I'm gonna go north, which might avoid some of the rain, up towards the Buffalo area and then cut across, or whether I'll just try to struggle through this rain. But it's pretty much rain all day today and all day tomorrow, which are the last 2 days of my trips. Rains, it pours. So I gotta get the tent down, pack it up wet, obviously, and then get everything to my bike, down the stairs, and get underway here in the next hour. Well, it's day 28, and I finally broke clear of the rain about 100 miles from my home. I'm riding Interstate 84, headed east. It's my last day. Just glorious to be out of the rain. I think it's dogged me since Illinois. Haven't really filmed the last couple days because it was cold and rainy, and I could barely see through my helmet, so I didn't want to add the complexity of filming. I'm here at a rest stop in New York. I'm plugged in because it's still low 50s. Dropped down to like 40 degrees this morning with driving rain. It was just miserable. So day 28, over 7,000 miles. Gonna be close to 7,300 miles by the time it's all said and done. Got about an hour to go, and looking forward to seeing my family again. It's been a nice trip. Very challenging though with the weather. This 28 days compared to the 55 last fall on my Four Corners tour. Just the weather, the wind, the rain, and the cold in this trip has made it, I think, a lot more challenging than that fall trip last year. I am now back in my home state of Connecticut. So this concludes 28-day tour, spring tour, of the remaining 48 states. Thanks for following me, watching these videos, and I had a blast. Absolute blast. Bad weather or not, glad I did it. So there you have it. 7,300 miles, 0.1. 28 days, finished 48 states. Great trip. That's the end of this one.